Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to try and do a little update on the Hitachi D980M and see if we can maybe get the thing to record again. Now you may have remembered in my last video on this deck that I left a little sticky comment on the video because I had actually thought about it for a while and realized that with the beta gain of the new old stock transistors I used, it was likely not having enough gain to actually activate the bias oscillator circuit. So what I've got today are some new replacements of brand new parts that will hopefully fix the problem. I'll show you right here what I've got. I've got actually two things here that I need to show you, but here are the transistor replacements I got for this. These are BD-139s, and I've got another package here. These are BD-137s. There's not really too much difference between them, except the 139s can handle more voltage. I think they're rated for up to 80 volts or something like that, but this is going to be working with 24 or 25 volts or something like that, so these should be very lightly stressed in this application. With that being said, the source for these isn't actually the greatest. See, I bought them from AliExpress, so they're very likely fakes. Yeah, I got no excuse there, except for the fact that I have no further DigiKey orders being planned until the new year, so and I happen to be ordering a bunch of tools from AliExpress anyway, so I figured these were cheap enough. Let's just throw them in with the order, see if they actually get the deck working, and if they do get it working, then fine, we'll just leave them. If not, then, or if they work for a short time and then fail, then, well, then maybe I can get the good parts later from DigiKey or whatnot. But that's the only thing I'm planning on doing today, is getting the D980M working for recording. Hopefully that's all I need to do. This thing is still getting stuck. I don't know what I can do about that. And not sure if I need to do anything about that, really, but whatever. Along with the transistors, I also have these. I got these at the same time, and we're just going to heat sink the new transistor, and we're going to get rid of that fabric heat shield that the factory threw in there. I'm just betting these days that in 2025 that the new old stock transistors I bought just aren't holding up very well anymore, and that would be sort of bolstered by the fact that I had two of those transistors in here that measured really low beta gain. So there is a third one in there. That one measures in specs, so I'm not going to change that one, but we'll see how these go, and if these go well, then I'll change the other one that I replaced last time. I don't know. But what we have to do first is check some of these new transistors to see if they will work. So I'll get my checker here. I won't bother trying to look for the one remaining new old stock transistor I had, because I know that one measured low for beta gain. We'll get out some of these BD-139s and we'll see what they do for beta gain. I think the old transistors were supposed to measure something like 55 minimum for beta gain. And I guess we'll get out some of these 137s as well. See what they measure. I got them in two separate piles here. 139's there, 137's there. So, what do we have for these parts? Turn this on first, of course. .257 beta gain. That is much better than 11 and 8, like I've been measuring on these new old stock transistors. Let's try another one here. .248 on that one. We'll do one more, I guess, on the 139s. 249. What the heck, let's do one more. I actually don't know what the original transistors would have measured brand new, so I have no idea how far off I am with any of these, but 253 on that one. Okay, that's a fairly consistent pattern. I'm going to keep this 249 gain one on top of the deck here, just so I can come back to it if I'm planning on installing it. Okay, let's try the 137s. These all came from the same seller. $222 on that one. $207 on that one. So they're really not that far off from the 139s so far. $218. I won't lie, these are measuring far enough off the one good transistor in the deck that I'm a little nervous about this. But I mean, if they make the deck work, then who cares? Yeah, the 137s and 139s are measuring roughly the same. I also have 131s, but I won't bother getting those out because I think we're just going to go with this guy right here. And I should mention, I bought some other stuff along with the transistors, and the other stuff I bought is right here. I decided I wanted to get the actual gold-plated jacks back into the Kenwood 1100 because I recorded with it, and I really like that deck. So I'm anxious to get it into as good a shape as possible. So it's going to get these jacks at some point, and it's going to get the new head from that Yamaha deck, and hopefully it'll be good to go then. But yeah, for now we want to fix this Hitachi deck and see if it can record. And one other thing I should announce is that I now have another Hitachi deck on the way from Japan. It's a D9, very top of the line from them. I haven't seen another one in the time I've been looking for Hitachi decks from Japan, so I'm excited to get it. Cost me a little bit much, but since I've never seen another one over there, I was happy to pay it. I'm into it for $402 as it sits. And then shipping's going to be a bear because Japan Post is not accepting parcels for Canada yet. They're still being affected by the strike, I guess. So I might have to fast track that one, but whatever. Let me get this transistor into the deck and we'll see if we can get it working. Alright folks, there it is. The BD139 has been installed, and I don't think it's shorting out on anything, which is good because the heatsink is not the best fit for that, but it's in there regardless, so we're going to see if anything blows up momentarily. And I've decided I'm going to use the scope to check the bias oscillator signal, just to see if things are working. The idea is to put the probe on one of the pins of the erase head, and we'll just basically immediately be able to tell whether or not the oscillator's running or not, if I can just arrange things here. So I've got a normal bias tape in there right now, and we'll turn the power on, and the power is on. I will get my probe down onto the relevant pin here, if I can get it situated, and I have. And let's see if I can contort myself around to going into play mode here. Let's find out what happens. Oh, we've got something. It's working. It is working. 82.38 kilohertz. It's not the 105 you get from newer decks, but it's clearly working. I am so happy right now. So I'm going to leave that recording and see if I can get this to a place where I can actually monitor the waveform while I'm... Did it stop working already? What's going on here? Oh no, there it is. I'm just going to try to have a feel of this transistor. I'm not getting the best connection here. Okay, transistor is not getting hot. I just can't get a good connection off the back of this pin though, so let's shut it off. And I'm going to call this a success already, but it remains to be seen whether or not the transistor is going to hold up. But the bias oscillator is working for the first time since I got this deck. Very happy with that I am. So I think we're going to get a recording and play test out of this. But first I have to calibrate this. Like I said, I have to set the bias current for all 4 tape types probably. I don't know if I have to do ferrochrome or not, but actually, yeah, I'll skip ferrochrome. There may not be a separate procedure for ferrochrome in the beginning, so yeah, I'll do normal, metal, and chrome, and then whichever tape type gives me the flattest frequency response, I think we'll do that for the record and play test. How's about that? Okay, so as you can see by this view in front of you, the deck has a little bit of a problem with metal tapes. Not exactly sure what's going on with it here, but could be the tape. This is the one I usually use for recording and play tests, but I'm not so sure about using this tape for doing the record play test on this deck. I do have it pretty much calibrated now for a normal and chrome bias tape, but I did have some issues with that as well. The service manual talks about an RT4 adjustment for adjusting the chrome frequency response, as it were, or bias current, whatever. And I couldn't find that anywhere inside the deck, so I'm not sure if it's even there, but I'm thinking what we're going to do for the record and play test is an Axia PS2, like this one. I'll show you how this one measures when it's in there. It does perform better than the metal does. So let me get it started here. And as you can see there, we've still got some channel discrepancies here. I've tried to calibrate those out, but I'm thinking there are still bad capacitors or some such in there, so I'm not sure if I can get it looking much better than this. What's interesting is I had this thing flat to 20 kilohertz just a few seconds ago, so why isn't it biasing this properly now? Weird. Let's try the normal bias tape again one more time, shall I? Oh, I see the problem. I forgot to turn off the metal switch. That's why it's not working. Yeah, this deck isn't really that great for metal tapes anyway, but that's fine. Okay, let me flatten the... or move these over top of each other. Bass response isn't that great, but it's okay. I'm not displeased with it. It's doing all right. It's flat to 20 kilohertz, but there's this big spike at 60 hertz that I don't know if I'm going to like too much. Otherwise, we've got extension down to about 25 hertz or so. So this deck is pretty good. Now let me see if I can fix that one little channel issue down there. I think that's, what, the left channel? I'll see if I can calibrate that out on camera. RT5L. We'll see if... Oops, wrong way. Just trying to get it as flat as possible, and I don't think I'm managing to get it any better than what I had before. But yeah, you got to remember this deck is ancient and very likely has more bad capacitors than the ones I replaced. So it may be heading for a full recap before everything's all said and done, but not doing that anytime soon, I'll tell you what. Okay, I think I'm going to be calling it right there. I will get as good a record and play test as I can out of this, and then we'll see. Like I said, it's old. It was made before cassette decks started being really optimized for flat frequency response, so you can't expect greatness from it too much. But I'm very happy with the way it's turned out so far, so let me get the deck put back together, and I'll get the record and play test done. And it still needs a full calibration, I should add. I just did a quick and dirty just to get this thing working well enough to hear it. But I will do the full recalibration when I do the full recap, I think, because there's just no point doing it now. Alright folks, there you have it. The old D980M has done its first recording in God knows how long. It's not perfect by any means. In fact, it's very far from perfect. It needs a lot of work yet, even over and above what I've done to it so far. As you can tell, I was not able to really push any kind of decent levels onto a chrome tape. It just will not do that yet without distorting anyway, but I don't know what the deal is there. Maybe I need to find RT4 yet, see if it's even in there. I tend to think it's not in there because I couldn't find it earlier, but whatever. But I'm going to try it with a normal bias tape yet, see if I can get a whole vaporwave recording done on it, and see what happens then. It could be the bias current is just way too far off yet, and I have to just align it the way the factory wanted me to begin with. Because, like I said, this was a quick and dirty kind of alignment, done using only white noise, did not follow the service manual whatsoever. So the next time I get in there to recalibrate it, it'll be with the service manual directions, and we'll get it dialed in that way, and maybe we'll do a better recording test on this deck later after I recap it, but that's a while down the road. I've done everything I set out to do with this deck, including getting it working and getting it recording. It is fully working now. It's not fully working well, but it's going to have to be what it is for now, because like I said, I'm kind of far off from doing another DigiKey order yet, so I would need to do that in order to replace some of the capacitors in there, which I do not have. But I'll keep that in mind for my next order, which is probably going to be in January, but whatever. It recorded, it actually sounds pretty darn good the way it is now, but obviously I want it to work better than it is currently, so I will work on that sometime next year probably. I'm done with it for this year. Gonna put it on the shelf for now and just sort of think about it for a while. Maybe we'll even start on the D9 before we get to finishing this one up, but who knows. The D9 hasn't left the country of Japan yet, so I don't know exactly when it's going to get here. But it's probably going to come the fast way, so you guys will get to see it when it's here. I'll show it to you. Alright, one last little segment on this deck before I let you guys go for the day. I have found and fixed the issue with the levels not being proper. Or I shouldn't say it that way. I should say I found and fixed the issue with the level meters not reading correctly. You'll remember I suspected this was an issue all along, and I have now confirmed it. I've changed the bad parts. They are right here. These are 0.47 microfarad parts at 25 volts Sanyo, and these measure stupid high ESR, and that was the problem. They're the audio coupling capacitors for the meter circuit. So basically what led me back to this thing right here was I had the good sense after I filmed my last segment to do a test recording on a normal bias tape with this deck. I pushed as high levels as I could get out of it and barely read anything on the meters, but when I took the recording over to the NEC BX150, I found that it was actually recording proper levels. It just wasn't registering them on the meters. So I remembered that I had suspected meter issues with the meter circuit. So I went in and recapped the whole thing. A couple of them were physically leaking, not these two, but these two were crazy high ESR, something like 50 ohms on each one of them. So I'll show you how the meters are acting now with a pre-recorded tape done with the 666ES. Check that out. Meters are fine now. So what I got to do now is I got to do a recalibration, and this deck should be good to go. I'm still going to do a full recap though eventually, because I kind of want to now. I've found enough bad capacitors in there that it needs to be done. There's more of these Sanyos in there that went bad too, so got to keep that in mind. But deck is doing better and better all the time, and it sounds great. And yeah, I just got to remember to flip these switches up there for Chrome if I want to do Chrome tapes, because I took that recording over to the BX150 as well, and well, the BX50 said it only went to minus 5 decibels without distortion, biasing that for normal tapes. So she's old, what can you say? Can't handle newer tapes the way some of my newer decks can. But anyway, see you guys in the next video. Take care.